Hey y'all, my glasses are probably hella dirty, so I'll take them off because I'm in my room and I'm just sitting here. I'm waiting for Sanaya and Rakia to get out of the tub. We're all taking baths. Everybody loves the big tub. I'm sitting here in my velvet bed. I love this bed. So, anyways, hey Jade. So, I was at 3 a.m. one night this week when both me and Star couldn't sleep. We were talking about like mistakes, the things like when you have reoccurring cycles in your life, for example. And I'm going to unplug this for a minute with this phone because I want to move, but I'm plugged in and I have a shorter cord. Let me turn on a brighter light. There we go. So you can kind of see me. So we were talking about making mistakes, and I was telling her, I'm really literally old enough to be Star's mama. Hey Dion, hey Katie, hey Lamona, hello everybody, hey Tamani, hello Yolanda, hello Jacqueline. We were talking about, when you have the same types of patterns. It kind of started off with conversations about men and how we tend to allow the same things over and over again. But I told her, there's a difference between 20s and 40s because some mistakes we are no longer willing to continue to make. There are certain mistakes that we're not going to make more than a couple of times, but really, I think repeating the same things over and over again with people is probably, if you want to talk about minutes and time taken from your life, forgiveness is great if you can do it with people. You don't have to forgive people. That's not at least my ideology. I'm looking at these dark circles under my eyes, and I see some cucumbers in my future. So today was an act of self care. One of the biggest mistakes that I've continued to make in my life is I like being busy. I like doing things, and I like doing things for other people. Then sometimes you gotta sit down because your body can't do nothing else for nobody. And tonight's that night because after we got through doing about 30 orders this weekend, thank you, Tiffany, thank you, Melissa, thank you, children of mine, I decided that I was going to go buy plants at the local nursery, which is kind of cool because they're really cheap right now. Hey, it's Tatanisha. Hi, Patrice. But, hey, Brittany. I decided I wanted plants. I wanted flowers. I'm always trying to be like this big survivalist type of person, learn how to grow my own food. So far, I can grow things. I can sew my own clothes. I can, what else can I do? I can build a fire. Um, those are all these things that I think are necessary for people. I even built a dollhouse, which makes me think I can build my own house, really, if I have the right support system. And that's a big thing. Sometimes I make crucial mistakes with my support system sometimes. And what I have decided is that I'm going to divine on the people that I choose to let, be in my space in the future. I've been hosting the Black Witch Circle, and for the most part, it's gone really well. But we've had a couple of characters that I've been like, no. And what's really funny is when you get tired of people's shenanigans, then they act like it's your fault. And you guys have seen that happen several times with people that I just was like, I ain't talking to you no more. Delete it. Bye. Because I'm 49. And I know I don't look it. Thank you very much. But because black don't crack and neither does yellow. But even though I'm actually 76% African, believe it or not. I'm from the light skinned nations. No, I'm actually mostly Nigerian, surprisingly enough. But, you can't let everybody, even if you care about them, okay? That's a thing, you know. A lot of people, and there's been most people. Yeah, you laughing at my light skinned nations. I don't ever use the word tribe. I think it's very white man anthropological. I believe that Native Americans had nations, and we most definitely had nations. Um, so yellow, yeah, yellow does not crack either if you take good care of it. Now there's some yellow folks, you know, there's a couple folks that I've seen, and I ain't even gonna say names, but they're famous, and they were on TV shows when we were younger. And I looked at them folks the other day on Instagram, and I was just like, ooh, all that money, you age like that. That's a goddamn shame. You know, I ain't even gonna lie to you all. I am a strange quagmire of science, modern logic, and old fashioned beliefs. Because, baby, if I had all that money, now I'm not talking about like Kanye West mama did, but we'd have to have some things taken care of. That's all I'm gonna say. I got some things I'd like to have taken care of right now, you know, and pray you come out alive. But there are other things that people consider to be flaws that I probably never changed, like my eye. I was born. My daughter did this. I did this. My sister's daughter did this. Went back in the womb because we were like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And in my day, I always got these low slung eyes. My mom and I have moon eyes. We don't have a crease, which sucks for trying to put on eyeshadow. You think it'd be like this big, beautiful palette, but it really doesn't work without a crease. But this eye here was caught by forceps, the muscle in my eye, and was pulled. And it had an effect on my eyesight because this eye worked overtime. So this eye actually sees better. But there are certain things that I would consider to be flaws, that other people would consider to be flaws that I wouldn't fuck with. But this belly, baby, like some of this and some of this wabola, yeah. If I had money, okay, money like that, you know. But there's just, you know, as long as there is a way to exercise and to keep yourself healthy, there's no reason to age poorly. But we're gonna do something up under here. But not being the same fool twice plays into self-care. You know, immediately when I got up out of this garden, I came up and took a spiritual bath. But, you know, I've had a couple situations in the past week where, you know, people have promised to do certain things and they did not come through. And, you know, and I just tell people, hey, be honest with yourself if you can't do something. Or be honest with people, period. Because I done peeped quite a few lies. I definitely know that people were feeling some kind of way and trying to throw at me. And, you know, when I send that shit back, I you know, I'm a pitcher. So I'm gonna throw that shit right back at you. That's another thing of self-care. I tell my students all the time, the CPR, cleanse, protect, reverse. You heard it here from me. Cleanse, protect, reverse. You should be taking care of your spiritual self and your personal self because people out here don't always mean you good, even if you never even really had a mean thought about them. Yes, them arms, girl, what is this? It's like, yeah, I could actually probably make a muscle, but what is that about? I don't know. It's just like, I still look at some of my friends from high school and I'd be like, you ate yourself. I mean, like, I really did think I looked bad. And I thought people were bullshitting me when they said I haven't changed a bit. I'm going to put up a picture. I'm going to show you guys a picture of me that I took in 1989 and the one I took in 2012. Can you tell me why I look better in 2012? And I was pretty woke back then. I was at a Farrakhan rally, actually. But, you know, it shows. If you keep making the same mistakes with your life, it starts to show like this lack of sleep line right here. We make this mistake with people that we love very dearly, but we really shouldn't be fucking with. You know, it's okay to love people from a distance. That's the one thing that I found. You don't necessarily have to be walking around with hate, because that's what I told somebody. If you still hate some dude that you used to date, then you still got feelings. When you get to the point of indifference, that's when you are done. And so sometimes you just have to get that way with people. And you don't have to hold everybody else responsible for the mistakes that other people made or even you've made in relationships. When you get a new relationship, I don't care if it's a friendship, I don't care if it's a lover type of relationship, I don't care if it's a business relationship, but you got to keep that eye open. You don't have to treat them like they're going to cheat just because the last person cheated on you. But I swear, I see some sisters, and I'm like, you should have just stayed with the last dude you was with, because this bro ain't no better. And so, when I was in my 20s, Lord, I was married most of my 20s, so let's talk about my 30s, because that's when I clowned. I got married too young. It would have been my 20s. I probably would have been in a lot worse shape, though. The spirits fix your situations so that you don't make certain mistakes. And so if I had been back in Chicago in my 20s, I probably would have been out of control. Grown, heathen, out of control. 30s, I actually went back to church. My best friend used to make a joke and say that I should have been dunked twice when I got baptized. Because next thing I knew, I was pregnant. And that planned my child. I'll never forget when I was in church. I hadn't been, I don't think, in a little bit. Or I hadn't run into this particular woman. This particular woman was my Sunday school teacher for new members. And when she saw me, we was dressed down church. So I had on these maternity overalls. Real cute. Show you a picture of me in those. Not good. And she shot me a disappointed, look. Now, she didn't take no looks at my hands, but I didn't do the, whole eyes married, because I wasn't. But, yeah, how you gonna look at me like that? Yeah, I got married when I was 21, and then fucked around and did it again when I was 40? 41. God. You think I'd be smarter, right? But I wasn't. And I got a little battery, so I gotta get ready to go, you guys. But I wasn't. I made the same dumbass mistake with just a different person. But it took being with two bad husbands. I mean, they didn't start off bad. Well, the second one kind of did. Should have known better. Should have never went nowhere with him. When I found out that he had been married, not twice, but 3 times. And the last chick he was with, he did not tell me he'd been married to. Yeah. We were standing in City Hall getting our marriage license. And I was just at least he was divorced. But if somebody lies to you about those things, they'll lie to you about anything. And so that is why it's really important that you keep your eye open. Learn how to divine when you're making these major decisions. Sometimes I had to make a whole bunch of decisions in the clutch when I was getting ready to go into the JEVO, and had to get my oldest daughter over here and my cousin over here, because things weren't going well with the people my daughter was staying with. And you think you have it planned. You really do. You think you've got it all together. And then somebody comes along and fucks it up. So, unfortunately, I didn't have my cards, but in the end, I made the right decision. But anytime you have to make a major decision, I'm a big fan of divination. Consult the cards, but also, when you're getting ready to do something and you can feel a nudge in your spirit that says, hey, don't do that. And I'm going to plug in some of my phone, don't die. But if you hear that nudge and you hear your spirit say, homie, I don't think that's a good idea. Everything is pink in my room. Give me a minute. I'm looking for my phone. I put it up high so I wouldn't have to do that, you guys. I hope you didn't see my titties because I have on my night clothes. And I'm not really trying to show off like some of these chicks be doing. Because I'm not thirsty. Oh, God. Food around, and, I'm real careful with electronics. And I had a plug that I had a longer cord here that I could use in my bed. And that was getting really hot. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not going out like that. I'm not going out with my bed caught on fire. So let's change this plug. But if you can't do a divination on it, you gotta start really learning how to trust your spirit, trust your gut. And I have a pink lampshade, that's why it looks so crazy. And when your spirit says, you might not want to do that. You remember when we did this before? How many times? Raise your hands. How many times you said your spirit says, "Oh, remember when we did this before?" With these same people, as a matter of fact. How'd that work for you? So there's going to be two things that occur if that happens. You got to stop and think about, is the situation any different? And you also have to think about, how can I be different in this situation? Because sometimes something going wrong is not always somebody else's fault. So when you find yourself in a familiar situation, that's what trials and tribulations are for. I don't think people properly understand. Oh, I hate that pink lampshade. I'm trying to turn around. I got a short cord, y'all. I don't think that people understand that sometimes when a situation is bad, it's really good. And I'll tell you, I talked to my daughter. I told her this about a year ago, and it proved to be very true, that sometimes really unfortunate situations can have positive outcomes. Couple reasons why. It is faith strengthening. If you're leaning on your spirits and your gods and you have to ask for help, it's really strengthening because they always come through. They do. They really do. Even in your darkest days, in the depths of despair, they come through. They might not come through in all the ways that we want them to. I think about death. It's probably about the only way, we can feel like things didn't happen exactly the way we want to, or very extreme illnesses. But other than that, they happen really definitely for a life lesson. And then what happens is that you didn't take that lesson the next time you experience either the same type of situation or a trauma. And especially if you experience a trauma, being triggered is very interesting. Nobody wants to be triggered. But if you're in a situation that was uncomfortable before, you'll know it when you're in that situation again, because you will be triggered. And then you have to decide, how do I avoid the trauma of that last situation? What am I going to do to change my outcome? And that's, I was talking about women who get the courage to leave abusive relationships. That one moment is so damn defining, so brave, so scary. But it's like turning on a dime. And it takes that scenario that keeps repeating itself over and over and over again into the end of a cycle. And so what we want to do is we want to create good cycles, because cycles can be great. Seasons are great. Cycles in life are great. I'm going to be a grandmother again. She's due this week, y'all. And I get to watch another small person come and be incredible, especially women. We do all girls here. My sister got girls. I got girls. We don't do boys. I don't do sports and things like that. But my daughter's in sports. She just announced to me, my youngest, that she has to be at soccer practice at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's just, interestingly enough, the same time her sister has to be at the doctor's office. Command center, my ass. We got so much going on, we probably can't fit it all on the calendar. But, yeah, right. The spirit will stop you. They probably tried to stop me today when I went off in this restaurant because they keep screwing up our order, but that's beside the point. I'm going to call corporate and get me some coupons. But, often I think about every time I messed up and how that tug said, don't. And I'm like, but I gotta. Don't. And your spirit just sits there looking out their fingers, because they already know what's going to happen. Your spirits can read your mind, by the way. So, you you want to start to take note of these tragedies, these traumas, these life-altering events. As you age, and I'm going to tell you this because, I got friends that die in their sleep. I buried my first friend, 27 from breast cancer. Same age, went to high school together. Captain of the cheerleading team. We were president and vice president of the junior class together.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, baby.
See?
Oh, yes. Are you naked?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I'm on video right now. So I don't want you to, come over here and do child porn or anything like that, okay? She has no clue what I'm talking about. What, baby?
A bug.
There's a bug.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an ant?
Yes.
Damn ants. I get it. Well, I can't wait to get these new windows. Oh, yeah. The child is in here running around butt ass naked. I'm like, please don't come over here in the camera. I cannot go to jail for inappropriate videos. But every single time you go through a trauma and you live through it, the living through it is a gift in and of itself. But seriously, if you are approached with the same situation again, you were given that situation sometimes because you need to teach yourself something. Every time I go through some bullshit, I learn. And now, there's a difference between learning and applying learning. So I'm not going to say that I don't keep making the same mistakes. But you know what? It's time for a change in a lot of aspects of my life. And as I said this, let me tell you, this is another problem that I have, is I'll think about word association. I think that's James coming in. Don't worry about the tub, honey. I'll get it. You know what? You're pregnant. But okay, keep moving so this baby can come so I can get my ass to New Orleans. But when we talk about problems with word association, you know what? Sometimes I think about things like probably shouldn't be problems. I just thought about how all the doors in the hallway here need to be repainted. And I got this woman who paints. I think drinks a little bit, but she paints wonderfully. So as long as I can make sure she doesn't go over here to the local bar, the redneck bar, down the street, if I can get her before she gets there, I can usually get her here at 8 a.m. But I'm not painting these hallways. I'm going to avoid all things fume-induced until a few months after the baby's born. But I looked at mistakes that I make with my garden. I looked at mistakes that I've made with my kids. I've looked at mistakes that I've made with my friends. I look at the mistakes that they have made, and I try to build this toolkit for, number one, conflict resolution. Because I used to, boy, y'all have not seen me angry. Nope. I can pick up cast iron chairs and throw them when I'm angry. So I don't let myself get angry anymore because it's such a waste of energy. At the most I get irritated or bothered, but I don't get angry. Because I'd rather spend that intense, powerful emotion on something else. Because when you get to be my age, you start to run out of energy for certain things. So now I'm like, oh, well, if I'm mad about something, let's go for a walk. If I'm mad about something, let's go plant a flower. If I'm mad about something, let's go fill an order. Let's make some money. Because the thing is when people get angry, the other person wins. There was a distraction set up. I think I still have, this is either from my spiritual bath or from outside. Oh, I thought I had a leaf in my hair. Y'all, these locks are something else, and I've been thinking about cutting them lately. I have herbs in my hair, I'm quite sure. But long locks make an excellent bath pillow, and I'm too damn cheap to buy another bath pillow. You have to do mind over matter. I told people all of that. Initiation is a lot of that. But I did it before. Oh, good night, pumpkin. Oh, okay. I'm getting ready to get off. Midnight snack time? Yay. Pickles and ice cream. I always have to do mind over matter. Mama and grandmother used to tell you, if you don't mind, it don't matter. You know, your mind, especially as a magician, can do some shit. And once you get in that relationship spiritually without a mind, can manipulate things, you watch your feelings that much closer. Because I promise you, Arius is one of those people. I'm one of those people. I know a few people like that. My daughters can do this. I've seen it. I'll tell you a story. Then I'm going to let you guys go. We have violent tempers in our family. I cursed somebody for 10 years with my mouth, but she did hit me. So that was why she got cursed. And I'd helped her. I'd helped her tremendously. And she was mentally ill when people did not let me know that. I thought I was dealing with a sane person. It only came out after she hit me that this chick was crazy, because I would have approached it a lot. I would approach the confrontation that led her to striking me a lot differently. But our minds, things come out of our mouths. I've watched what I've said and what other people said manifest. I've watched people. I have a cousin that can blow. When I had my daughter, she blew out every phone. Every time she touched it, the electricity in her body blew the phone line. We had to get a new phone. We finally had to go buy one from the store. The house full of phones didn't work. That's what type of energy you're capable of. That's what type of energy that you can channel. So one day, 2015, we're in Chicago. We're packing to move here. I am desperate to get my children out of Chicago because my cousin had been murdered and he's a mailman. And I was done. A kid that never even got kept after school got murdered sitting in front of his house, warming up his car, going to work from some crazy girl's boyfriend. Yeah. And so it was a high stress time for all of us. We were mourning, and we decided to leave a year before we'd initially planned. So from the time we decided to wait to move, we had 8 weeks, okay, to pack up a whole big old house in Chicago. And yes, walking around with a phone with a crack screen, right? Touching shit, blowing shit out. Yes, it is definitely my personal magic. So my daughters and I are packing to move, and it's a high stress time. When they start arguing, when these two start arguing, for me it's kind of heartbreaking because they're so good together, but at the same time it's like, what the fuck, really? Cut it out. So I was a witch at the time, but I was still also a Christian. And I said, come on over here. I said, I brought them into my art studio, and I said, let's pray, because y'all don't know how to act. Let's pray, let's calm, let's deep breathe, let's talk to spirit, let's get it together here. The minute these heifers started praying, a storm broke out. Y'all, when that storm was over, they said it was a microburst in Chicago. But you go back and look at that storm in 2015, go back and look at the pictures, go Google that shit, and look at 100-year-old trees uprooted from the ground. Every single window in the front of our house broke. And this was in the middle of them praying because they were so angry. And they were, I guess trying to push the energy out, channel energy. Lights went out and everything. Now, I ain't gonna say we caused that big ass storm, but I also don't believe that things in life are coincidental. So you want to use those negative experiences to, first of all, understand your power and to make wiser decisions. Because at 49 years old, I cannot make the same mistakes. That's why I'm single. Every day, my daughters don't even ask me anymore. We talk about different relationship issues and different things. And I'm like, nope, not going to do that again. And I'm not going to be in a relationship until I don't have to do that again. I don't want to keep doing the same things over and over again. As a matter of fact, I want to do new things. I want to find amazing things that I have never, ever touched, seen, felt, or heard. I don't want to repeat mistakes. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, even if it's like something like eggs or making something or not making enough of something or making too much of something, I fuck up every day. I tell my kids that. I make mistakes every day. Just because I have knowledge and wisdom that comes from experience doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes. I just don't make the mistakes they're making. Because I've been there. Because I've done that. And I ain't doing it again. Sometimes you just get too old for that shit. And that's where I am right now. And I'm hoping that really younger people are watching this and that you share this with younger people, because think about all of the trials, tribulations, and pain that you experienced in your life that you could have avoided if you stopped being the same fool. Don't be the same fool twice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So when you look around you and you're seeing that your life is the same, that you've wanted to make changes, that you've wanted to do better, and yet you seem to be in the same cycles, it's probably because you haven't changed what you're doing. And what you're doing starts by what you're thinking. You can't begin anything without thought. But however, a lot of people do things without thinking and they end up in jail or dead or homeless or relationshipless. So, I that urge. One of the things I adopted after my 2 divorces was that I never talk to a person that I'm dating when I'm angry with them, especially on the phone. Okay? Right, be a whole new fool. Be a fool on something else. Exactly. You think what you are, you think. So, another thing I'm going to think? I lost 18 pounds this year, and I don't even know how. Hustling. I'm a hustler, baby. But I'm thinner. I'm not thin. I'm thinner. That's what I'm going to be. I'm on the garden workout plan. I was thinking about signing us all up for the Y. And I thought, no, if I can just get these little sisters out here in this yard, we can work out all summer long for free and have something from it as a result. Fruits of your labor. We all should be looking at our fruits. Anything you produce in your life. And what does the fruit taste like? Is the fruit, there's a Tracy Chapman song where she says that, your poison apple, inside it's rotten to the core. It doesn't matter if you look great on the outside, if you're, hey, Ochani, I miss you too. It doesn't matter if your mind ain't right. Thank you. If it's not right, it doesn't matter. You got to do both. And people are always so incredibly unbalanced. And I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, there's probably about 40 more orders in that queue. But guess what, baby? I went and gardened today. I had a whole friend come here and help me from the East Coast. And one of my friends came from about 45 minutes away. And we banged out 30-some orders. And today I said, it's time to put my hands and my feet in the ground. And I feel so much better for it. And this coming week, okay, you guys, I'm going to give you guys some advance notice. My daughter's due on Friday. My job is doing a big, really needed accessibility project, making sure our courses are accessible for people with disabilities. So I ain't going to be talking to y'all that much this week. But I promise you, I'm not going to send pictures of the baby. I don't post pictures of babies. But I'll let you know when she's here. And eventually you get to see what she looks like. In a lot of cultures, they wait a year. Yeah, getting busy all day long, every day. And I'm going to tell you all about this. I'm in a religion that doesn't penalize you for wanting to make money. I'm hustling, y'all. Every way you cut it, I love doing things. So what I decided I was going to do is like, how can I make money doing what I love rather than being like so many people who have to go make money doing what they hate. So anytime I find something that I make that I like, that I love, I'm going to sell it. And so I was just talking to my daughter today about health hair care products. She's really good at that type of stuff. So you all may be seeing a hair care line from us very soon. All natural, plant-based, probably vegan, because it's good for you. You don't need animals in your hair. So anyways, you know what? Don't Ochani, because I know how you be humping it. Don't send no more folks my way. I love, 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 love the fact that you really do promote me, but folks have been clowning. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, y'all. When I have my next sale, anything mini is going to be excluded because we did about 40 mini oil samplers, and I don't appreciate that, y'all. To go to some bottles this big. Give up the money for a full damn bottle of oil. I'm telling you, they've already threatened to go on strike. Then my 2 children employees, okay? You got a hippie witch? Yeah. And names until they're 13. You know, my granddaughter, spirits into that point. You know, that's beautiful, but we could homeschool her too, but I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if we want to homeschool or not. Tried it with the youngest. I don't know. I just think the wee one's real social, and maybe we can get a homeschool cooperative going on here and we can do it. But our schools are really good here. But, we're gonna have a naming ceremony. She's gonna have her first bath. It's going to be a spiritual one. But yeah, my granddaughter didn't have her name for like 2 weeks. So yeah. So hippie witch. Oh, okay. Well, I'm a hippie witch too. So, oh, is that your new thing? Oh, that is so awesome. I thought it said happy. Honestly, when I read your new labels, I thought it said happy. But that is so cool, and you know I'm gonna be all over that. Chani makes amazing oils, you guys. Keeping in mind they're all natural, so you got to use them quickly, because I got down to the bottom of my oils, Chani, and I had waited too long. You know, he doesn't put preservatives in his stuff, so you know that's another thing about spiritual oils. Y'all buy these oils from us, use them, because there's not a bunch of junk in there that's gonna make them smell great forever. No, I put vitamin E in mine, and that's it. And so you got to use spiritual oils, or they will bomb out. Okay, what are you doing? Are you going back in there and mess with that tub? No. Oh, okay. Is she asleep? Halfway. Yay! That child dumped a half a sandbox in my living room, y'all. People who owe you money, bitch better have my money. That's my oil. It's pay me now, but mine is called bitch better have my money, because that's how I roll. Did James come in? He left back out. Mm-hmm. To get the money, so he was okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what, Chani? I don't know. Like I said, I was using mine a lot, and at the end, because it's natural, but maybe you know what I think. I have no screens on my jaw, and I had one of those little temporary screens. Yeah. Oh, that's probably because I was using it too much. Because I just think it's the room, though. I have these itty bitty ass windows in my room. They don't look itty bitty because I got these long curtains on it, so I'm getting new, bigger windows put in. Because we didn't have screens in this house. Half of the rooms in this house did not have screens. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you keep your windows open like that. But needless to say, one night I had a temp screen in the window so I could keep my window open, and there was some squirrels fighting on the like, what do you call that? The awning. Excuse me. And I'm telling you, I thought they was coming in my room, so I had to close the window. I've been a little freaked out ever since. So, yes, Did I do a follow me? Well, I was wearing that every day, boo. I think that might have been the one. But then somebody did follow me, and I didn't want them to follow me. I was gonna say that nobody followed me, but there was the window salesman. I'm prattling. You all have a beautiful evening, but remember, don't make the same mistakes twice. Just try to make new ones, but don't repeat the old ones. Good night.